Hello there folks, Cranky Old Cuber here. Today I'm going to show you how to magnetize a 4x4 using a Cubing Classroom MF4. But before we get started, I wanted to show you some other disassembled 4x4 cubes. These four in the front all share a split piece design, which is the style of cube we'll be magnetizing. First we have the Yushin Blue, which was the first 4x4 I magnetized. Then we have the Chi-Yi Mini Thunderclap, which is Addie's main. Next is the Chi-Yi Wuchui, which I don't like. And then the Kung Fu Kongfeng, which is a budget 4x4. And finally in the back here we have the Chi-Yi Chi-Yuan, which has a different design. It's capped rather than split piece, and I won't be teaching you how to magnetize these. Now, split piece just means you split the pieces apart to be able to place the magnets inside. Corners just split into 3 pieces instead of 2. Sometimes I have to use a knife to pry the pieces apart, and other times I can just pull them apart. In any case, once they're apart, it's usually pretty easy to place the magnets inside them. As previously mentioned, the Mini Thunderclap, the Wuchui, and the Kongfeng all share this design, which makes them pretty easy to magnetize. Okay, let's look at the Yushin Blue pieces again. We have plenty of room for magnets in all 4 of these spots here, and we don't even have to be careful about the magnets getting in the way of reassembly. Which reminds me, you should always check the placement on your particular cube to make sure you'll be able to reassemble. It's a lot easier to fix placement before you glue anything in permanently than after, and I found a few cubes that don't go back together well because a magnet is now where one of the tabs previously wanted to be. So when you're magnetizing a 4x4, you have 2 pairs of magnets to worry about instead of just the one with a 3x3. You have the corner edge pair, which works the same as a 3x3. It takes 48 magnets, and if you've magnetized a 3x3 before, it's quite straightforward. The other pair is the edge-to-edge pair. When you put the edges back together, you end up with 2 magnets in each piece. You have one here, and you have one here. So, each edge pair will have 2 pairs of magnets. This is why we use a weaker magnet in the edge-to-edge pairs than we do with the corner-to-edge pairs. If we were to use the same magnets as from the corner edge pair, the pull force between the edges would be too great. Okay, let's talk magnets. For the corner-to-edge magnet pair, I like to use 4x2mm N35 disc magnets. The time I've used N50s, they felt too strong, so I just kind of settled on these as my go-to magnets, and I use them in the corners of pretty much everything I magnetize, unless they just won't fit. But this is not a problem with any 4x4 I've encountered so far. For the edge-to-edge pair, I've used a few different sizes and strengths. For the Yushin Blue here, I used a 3x1.5mm N50 magnet, but more recently I've been using 4x1mm N52 magnets. It turns out that the distances that are typical in cubing applications, meaning a distance of about 2mm, they are identical in strength. A quick tip: you can check the relative magnet strengths using the magnet calculator at kjmagnetics.com. It's been super helpful for me, and that's how I figured out the 3x1.5 N50s and the 4x1 N52s were the same strength. I'll put a link to that website in the description. So we have to start by doing a single corner edge pair and a single edge pair. And then when the glue is dried, we can use those pieces as templates to place more magnets. It ends up having this snowball effect where the first set is just these 2 pairs, but the next set is 4 pairs, and the next is 8, and so on. For the corner edge pair, we'll put a magnet in the edge piece and a magnet in the corner piece. The 2 magnets will stay put wherever we place them. They're plenty strong enough for that. I like to use tweezers to adjust the placement and get them exactly where I want them, and then I place the glue. I use this super glue, just this stuff right here. It's the thin stuff. The reason I use it is because I can drop a drop on top of the magnet here, and I can drop a drop on top of this magnet, and capillary action will pull the glue down between the magnet and the plastic. I use enough to make sure the joint is good and coated, but not so much that it fills up the piece. Now we do the first edge-edge pair. We place one of the magnets here, and we place our other magnet here. They'll hold in place just like with the corner edge pair. Adjust the placement, and when we're happy with it, we'll drop the glue in, and then we can wait for it to dry, 5 or 10 minutes just to be sure. Once our first pairs are dry, we can start making more pairs. We'll pull the corner edge pair apart and use the edge to place a magnet in a new corner. And then we'll use the corner to place a magnet in a new edge. The same goes for our edge-edge pairs. We'll use an edge with a magnet to place a magnet in a new edge. We'll let those dry, and then we can do it again, only with more pieces. I think we're ready to magnetize this MF4, so let's get to it. Let's get an edge and a corner out and make sure that the piece design is what I think it is. These are definitely split piece designs, so let's get them open and see what we have. Yeah, it looks like there's plenty of room in this corner. Let's check out an edge. Yep, looks like it's going to be fine. So, this is the normal split piece design, no problems with room, and no need to be careful with magnet placement in the corner. It'll reassemble just fine. So let's get this thing apart and start magnetizing. I'm going to very carefully leave as much of this core together as I can, because I don't like reassembling 4x4 cores. And this is nicely still together, so let's take advantage of it. So what I do to get the first pair placed is to put a 4x2mm N35 magnet inside the edge piece, and then another of the same on the outside of the edge piece, so they're just kind of hanging out like that. Then I place the corner piece next to the edge piece, and I carefully push the outside magnet into place in the corner piece. And then I take a pair of tweezers and adjust the magnets so they are just right before gluing them. Then I just drop some glue onto each of the magnets, and because the glue is thin, capillary action will pull it down between the magnet and the plastic. And now I need to split another edge to do the first edge-to-edge pair. I'll use 4x1mm N52 magnets for this pair. So again, I'll put a magnet inside the edge piece and another one on the outside of the edge piece. These smaller magnets are a bit small for my fingers, which makes them a little bit harder to work with. Now I'll place the other edge next to this edge and very carefully push the magnet into the other edge. And then I'll do a final adjustment with my tweezers so they're in the right spot. And now they're ready for gluing. A quick note about polarities. The polarities of the corner edge magnet pair and the polarities of the edge-to-edge magnet pair are not related at all. You don't have to worry about it. And if you build one corner to edge pair and one edge to edge pair first, and then you use these pieces as templates for doing all the rest, you will automatically get the polarities of each pair correct. So these are ready to glue. Let's go ahead and do that. Now, these smaller magnets are a little harder to get the glue into the right place, so be careful if you use them. Now, while we wait for those to dry, we'll take the other pieces apart. Okay, these are dry enough for us to do another set. We'll split the corner edge pair, and then we'll use the corner to place a magnet in a new edge, and we'll use the edge to place a magnet in a new corner. Then some glue, and these are ready. Now we'll split the edge-to-edge pair and use those to place magnets in new edges. And a little bit of glue, and we'll be ready to let these dry. And now we just keep repeating the same process until we run out of pieces to magnetize. All the pieces are magnetized and have dried, so now it's time for reassembly. Yep, I am actually using my Yushin Blue M there as a reference to put these corners back together. It turns out you can get this wrong. And now the joy of reassembling a 4x4. Hopefully, leaving the core mostly intact will pay off. And now it's all back together. We'll check the turning and see how the magnets are doing. Then a little bit of lubing and tensioning, and that's it. We're all done. So as you can see, it's not super hard to magnetize a 4x4. You just have to make sure you pay attention to what you're doing. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. And if you found this tutorial helpful, do me a favor and hit that like button. Lastly, if you'd like to see more content like this in the future, consider clicking that subscribe button and maybe even the little bell so you'll be notified when I upload. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you at the next video. Cheers.